What's going on, y'all? This is Ricardo Billanzar, Lessons with Ricardo, and we're back again. The question today is, can I restrict access to the management portal of my router, also known as the gateway portal? Absolutely. All right, y'all, so we are back, but before we jump into today's session, I do want to make sure you understand that there are a lot of things covered so far in previous videos, such as concepts explaining your home network, the relationship with your ISP, how VPNs work, even setting up a split VPN and VLANs on the router I use. Now, I point that out as concepts because it should be applicable to pretty much any router you have, given some limitations here or there. But if you're in the same space as I am with the Unifi Dream Machine Pro, it will feel right at home, right? It will fit and suit what you need. All right, so that being said, catch up on the other videos just to get the concepts down. And in this video, we're going to cover actually blocking access to your management portal or gateway portal from all those other VLANs we created. So I'll put it this way. You don't want to leave your management portal accessible by VLANs you're not constantly on. And you're on one computer primarily throughout the day, like most people, right? You're not going to be jumping between your networks you created. And if you set it up properly, you can't just jump between the networks. And given that as the case, you want to restrict all but your primary VLANs from being able to get into the portal and making changes to how your entire network works. Makes sense. All right, so that being said, let me pull up on the screen here and get a view that you can enjoy as we walk through this. All right, y'all, so as always, we're in the portal of the Unifi Dream Machine Pro I use, but I do want you to understand that if your product has similar utilities, then this may work for you as well. Now, by utility, I'm talking about the utility of a profile, and that is where we actually are able to group together IPs. And the reason why I want to group IPs, because you may be thinking, why do we need to group IPs if they're all in a VLAN or a virtual local area network? Good question. Well, just like many businesses and maybe even at your home, you're going to have a set of applications or servers that may serve similar purposes, but you want to have them segmented throughout your network. At the same time, you want to limit how much work you're putting in when it comes to generating firewall rules. So, how do we get around that? We create groupings. So, we put all these IPs into one group, and we call that, in this product at least, we call that a profile. So that's the reason why we're going to jump into the profiles first. So once again, let's go and navigate over to the network tab. And under there, we're going to go to settings, and then we'll go to the profiles. And profiles, you'll see that I have quite a few of them already in there. Perfectly fine. Obviously, mine is already configured. I'm doing this to help you through configuring yours. And basically, once we go to profiles, we'll go to IP groups. And from IP groups, we're going to go ahead and create a new one. All right, so let's show you how to create a brand new entry. Now this entry I'm making just to show you how to create one, because it's actually not going to be the gateway address we have to specify to block access to the management portal. But that will come up in a moment. So we simply give it a name, and then from there we give it a group, well, I guess I should say a type, which is IP groups, and then you give it a IP address or a combination of IP addresses, or you can do a flat out CIDR block, which is an IP address slash and then the net mask that goes along with it, and save it. Now let's take a look at the IP group profile I already have created to block access from all the VLANs to the management portal. That group, as you see here, is labeled as UDM underscore addresses. The naming is arbitrary, name whatever you want. I chose that, and what you'll notice first is that every IP address in this group ends in the .1. Why is that? Well, .1 is a reserved, well, let me not say .1. An IP address ending in .1 is a reserved space or a reserved IP address for any network that belongs to the gateway of that network. Now, the gateway's only job is to conduct or, I guess, provide entry and exit into that network for the data traversing it. So in this case, we want to block access to gateway from all the other VLANs, and I want to block access to all the gateways. They should not be able to talk across any other networks or any other gateways, but I'm just making sure that we cover the bases by putting all of them in one group. All right, so we're missing only one IP address, so let's put that in now, and that's the 192.168.7.1, which is the newest VLAN we created in the previous video, at least on my setup. All right, so that is done. What's next? Well, once you have the grouping put together, it really is as simple as adding a firewall rule. And that's obviously what we're using to block access. So let's jump over to the security section of this. And from there, we'll just click on the firewall rules as you see here. Now, let me show you the existing one before we create a new one. First thing you'll notice is a LAN local type. Now, LAN local is really important to understand because last video, we used LAN in or LAN out, but we did not do LAN local. The reason why is because LAN local restricts the data, I guess restricts the rule for managing the access of data to just the router and nowhere outside of that. So pretty much just the ARP table it knows of inside of its own networks. So yeah, after that we give it a name, and of course we have the source network and then the destination network, which in this case you'll notice that it is the IP group we created earlier. All right, so that's what already exists. We're going to do another one, and if I didn't mention it, it's blocked, right? I already dropped. There's a drop to block the traffic. So let's do that next one. We'll go back out of the screen. We'll do create a new entry, and from here we're going to select the LAN local. We're going to make sure it does say drop. We'll make sure that the tick boxes before predefined. Everything pretty much the same as the last video. Only thing we're going to do now is we're going to set up that the source is a network, and we're going to specify the network we want to block traffic from. And then we'll do the destination as the group, the profile, which is IP grouping of all the gateway IP addresses for all of the VLANs. And so what that does is it ensures that when you are on that network, you're not able to access any of those gateways, which means you cannot access this management portal from there. All right, y'all, so we finished it. We finished setting up a block so that the other VLANs we've created cannot access the management portal and throw any mischievous or malicious changes or configurations in our router. So it makes it safe. And that's it. Before we go, though, I want to discuss what to expect in the next video. Well, it's going to be really good because we're going to take a step back. I'm going to give you the grand idea that I had behind this in creating a home lab and growing it into a cyber range. That's going to include the components, the servers, the applications, the appliances, all of it. And I'm doing this because I want to first make sure you know what to expect and also to maybe generate some ideas for yourself. And of course, if you like it, make sure you subscribe, you share, and also comment. Give me some feedback. I've been really responsive, I think, in answering some of the comments we've had so far, and I want to continue to do so. This is a journey we're on together, and I really appreciate you sticking around. Until next time, see you later. Bye.